You know that feeling when you check your bank account and instead of immediately closing the app in horror, you actually smile? Like when you stop calculating whether you can afford that coffee or if buying groceries means eating ramen for the rest of the week. There's a specific number where this shift happens, and it's not what most people think. Most financial gurus will tell you that you need $1 million to feel wealthy, or that 6 figures is the magic number. But here's the thing they're missing. There's a much smaller milestone that completely transforms your relationship with money, and once you hit it, everything changes. That number is $10,000. My name is Shreyak, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others stay stuck in the same financial patterns for decades. If you want to understand how money actually works, not the Instagram version, the real version, hit subscribe and stick around. This one's going to change how you think. Now, before we get into why $10,000 is such a massive deal, let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt genuinely calm about money? Not rich, not set for life, just calm. For most people, the honest answer is never, or maybe once, briefly, before something came along and wiped it out. That's not a coincidence. That's not bad luck. That's what happens when you're living below a critical financial threshold, one that most people don't even know exists. There are certain financial thresholds that act like invisible barriers. Once you cross them, the entire game changes. $10,000 is the first one, the one that starts everything. Think about what it feels like to have nothing saved. Every single week is a balancing act. You're calculating whether you can pay rent and buy groceries. You're hoping your car doesn't break down because you have no idea how you'd handle it. You're saying yes to extra shifts you don't want because saying no feels impossible. This isn't just stressful. This is survival mode. And when your brain is in survival mode, it literally cannot think about the future. It can't plan. It can't grow. It can only react. Psychologists have a name for this, scarcity mindset, and research shows it actually lowers your cognitive function. Being broke doesn't just hurt your wallet, it temporarily makes you worse at making decisions. Now imagine crossing $10,000. Suddenly you have 2 to 3 months of living expenses sitting in your account. Your car breaks down, annoying, but handled. Unexpected medical bill, covered. Job gets unbearable, you have options. That shift from $0 to $10,000 isn't just financial, it's neurological. Your brain comes out of survival mode, and for the first time, it can actually start thinking about building something. Here's where the math gets interesting. Let's say you're saving $500 a month and earning 8% returns on your investments. Getting to your first $10,000 takes about 18 months, a year and a half of discipline, of saying no, of choosing the future over the present. It's hard. Most people quit before they get there. But here's what happens once you cross it. Your second $10,000 takes only 16 months. Why? Because your first $10,000 is now working alongside you, generating its own returns while you keep saving. Your third $10,000 comes even faster. By the time you reach $200,000, your investments are generating a new $10,000 every 3 months, automatically, without you doing anything extra, without a raise, without a second job. Same effort, same discipline, just more money working silently in the background. Now here's something nobody talks about. $10,000 doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your career. When you have nothing saved, you are trapped, full stop. Your boss is unreasonable, you smile and take it. Your job is slowly killing your soul, you show up anyway. A better opportunity appears, you can't risk it. You're negotiating from pure desperation, and everyone around you can feel it. $10,000 changes the entire dynamic. Suddenly, you have what I call breathing room money. Not quit your job tomorrow money, that comes later, but enough to know that if things got really bad, you would be okay for a few months. And that knowledge, just that knowledge, changes how you carry yourself. You ask for the raise. You push back on the unreasonable deadline. You go to the interview, not because you're reckless, but because you're no longer negotiating from a place of pure fear. People notice this shift, and what follows is usually better opportunities, more respect, and yes, more income to accelerate your savings even further. But here's where most people blow it. They grind for 18 months, Finally hit $10,000, feel amazing, and immediately spend it. New phone, weekend trip, a treat because they worked so hard and they deserve it. And just like that, they're back at zero. Except now, they're also exhausted because they know exactly how hard it was to build that. $10,000 is not a reward. It's a foundation. The moment you spend it, you lose everything the compounding math was about to do for you. You don't just lose the money, you lose the momentum, the psychology, and the head start. Protect it like it's the most important financial decision of your life, because at this stage, it is. Let me give you a real example of what this looks like. James worked a regular job, nothing glamorous. He was never the highest earner in the room. But at 25, he made one decision that changed everything. He saved $10,000 and didn't touch it. He kept adding to it, slowly, consistently. Used cars, home-cooked meals, no flashy purchases. By 35, he had $120,000 invested. By 45, he had $380,000. He retired at 52, not because he earned more than everyone else, but because he understood one thing earlier than most: protect the foundation. Let time do the work. Now let's talk about the silent killer that stops most people from ever reaching $10,000. Their car. The average person spends $500 to $700 every single month on their vehicle. Payments, insurance, gas, maintenance. Over 40 years, that's $300,000 or more just to get from one place to another. That same money, invested consistently, would be worth over $1.5 million. A $25,000 car isn't $25,000. It's $150,000, the amount it could have grown to in 20 years. The person in the flashy car looks successful, but they're quietly trading their financial future for something that loses value the moment they drive it off the lot. The person in the reliable used car, they're boring at red lights, but they're building something real, something that compounds, something that eventually sets them free. Once you have $10,000 saved, this shift in thinking becomes automatic. You stop asking, "Can I afford the payment?" and start asking, "What is this actually costing me?" And that question, that single question, is worth more than any financial advice you'll ever receive. $10,000 won't make you rich overnight, but it will do something more important. It will move you out of survival mode and into builder mode. It will give your brain the breathing room it needs to start thinking differently. It will change how you show up at work, how you make decisions, and how you see every dollar that passes through your hands. It's not the end of the journey, it's the beginning of it. And the beautiful thing is, once you hit $10,000, the path to $20,000 is shorter. The path to $100,000 is clearer. And the path to financial freedom stops feeling like a fantasy and starts feeling like a plan. Start today, not when you earn more, not when things settle down. Today, open the account, set up the automatic transfer. Start with whatever you can. $100, $200, $300 a month. Your future self is already counting on the decision you make right now. Trust me, they'll thank you for it. If this video helped you see money differently, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe to Shreyak Finance for more content like this. Real finance, real psychology, no fluff. And drop a comment below. What's your current savings goal? I read every single one. See you in the next one.